Welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to be a part of this project. We're three classes actually from the School of Community and Regional Planning at UBC, all contributing to this effort. As Ken said, this is really just an opportunity to energize some of our thinking with your ideas, your imaginations, your creativity, and there are lots of different ways that we're going to try to think together about different possibilities for the future today. We're going to break up into 4 different small groups, and each group will go to a different station. So you'll have an opportunity to experience 4 different ways of really thinking about the neighborhood and thinking about issues related to Britannia, to the site, and to future possibilities.
There was an elementary school here because it's hidden. Looking for coffee.
We asked them which activity they'd like to work on. We asked them to tell us what that figure would be doing, walking, sitting, riding a bike or whatever. And so we draw a scene which is like a part of the design. The features of that scene are then listed, and then people go around the drawings and then they rate all the features.
Community members are invited to write down the areas they like to go to, places they love and why they love them. There was just a general theme. And more so than even coming up with these broad community principles, was just having one-on-one conversations with community people, taking their really great ideas on board.
I'd very much like to see the area stay or even improve in its diversity in terms of cultures, age groups who have use of Britannia space. I think I like to see it more proactively happening. Not only that there's diversity, but that the diverse sort of demographics actually relate to each other. Do things together, play with each other. I don't want the seniors to be sort of like stuck in doing senior things and have nothing to do with the youth, for example.
The seniors in this neighborhood tend to get warehoused into towers so that they don't live in places with a lot of interaction with the public. They're siloed, or they're warehoused in high rises or a big chunk of the BC housing.
Can you have one building that consolidates some of the gyms? The community uses the gyms as much as the school kids use the gyms, because those gyms are booked 24/7 virtually. Yeah, so I mean, like, it's sort of like, can you give up one of those spaces for some kind of community-based space that would be high use?
This is Gym D.
Courts, the gym.
That's Gym C.
Maybe that's the building to put a fitness center on top of. Maybe that's the building.
And of course, the most popular places I find are like village centers or like plazas. Like in Europe, they block off streets and they'll have public spaces that are former streets, be all pedestrian, be coffee shops and sunshine and people milling around, and a center to the whole thing. And you always know you're right in the center of things when you're there. Britannia, I never knew where it was, you know. And so I really am interested in it being developed into like a village center.
Thank you. I think we should take over part of Commercial Drive too. Now I think
No worries, yeah.
Put a couple of storefronts on there. One of them would be the Community Advice Center. The other one would be the combined
Community Advice Center?
Well, it could be an art shop, like art gallery, or art sales.
Yeah.
The great thing about having an industrial kitchen is that like schools aren't allowed to have bake sales because nothing is done in an industrial kitchen. So if you have an industrial kitchen and you make stuff out of it, you can sell it. And so it's a way for nonprofits to make money because you're not allowed to do that.
So people are eating at this table?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Everyone can sit down and have dinner.
I use kitchen space a lot, and right now we have kitchens on site, but they're not always accessible. And we could do so many more programs around cooking and canning if we had a more accessible kitchen space.
I'm going to just talk about my biggest concern is diversity of this community staying. And one of the things that I noticed today is that there was a lot of representation here of an artist community, and they talk about bringing art into the community. I just was kind of thinking about the representation of families. Really wasn't here. Like I didn't really hear much about expansion of childcare facilities or play spaces for children. I really didn't hear much of that today. So I was kind of surprised by that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can draw that.
So we get a consensus really of a desired community norm. Designs are richer when you get the community involved. You get many more ideas from people who are applying their experience and their knowledge of life. For the designers, they know that it all has to end up providing this kind of life.
I had some ideas about what I thought would improve Britannia, and it was so helpful to hear from the community about things that they thought would definitely not work, or or areas that I had not thought about at all. So I definitely had them in the back of my mind the whole time. You know, if I was thinking, oh, this could be a really great place for a gym, then I could hear them thinking, well, the existing place for a gym is actually really good, and if it was over there, it might not be so accessible or useful or those kind of things.
I want to see Commercial Drive keep its diversity. There has been a lot of economic change since I moved here, and I've been here about 19 years now. And, you know, places have been bought up and more money have come into the area. And I see it changing. I see the cultural diversity isn't there, and I would really love that to stay. And I think that means supporting people economically.
There's youth here that are attending school and workshops and classes, and there's a lot of talent and energy. So using the space as mixed use space, but tapping into all the resources and the creativity and the talent that's here.
We're a bit of like, you know, we're kind of renegade where it comes to a neighborhood compared to other neighborhoods. It's very unique, and I like to see that stay and actually grow and blossom even more. So, which would be great if we can get money to do it.
People were telling us about the types of stuff that they can do here. I was surprised because I didn't honestly know that you could do as much as you could. Because they weren't really presented to me in a way that I could see them, you know, I didn't really know about that. I didn't know about their existence. Now I know about them, but I think that they have a lot of work to do in terms of organizing it and making it more presentable to me.
I'm hoping that people will come away with a sense that they've actually had some input into the process, and that it's not going to be ignored. It's like, you know, the place hasn't changed a lot since the 60s. I would like to see that there would be a process so that we look at it every 5-6 years and don't wait for 40 years before we do this again, you know?
I would like to see Britannia as a leader. I would like to see a stronger sort of youth focus in terms of youth action, and as a center for political and social action that's more relevant to the times.